gastroc is, and I'm just squeezing it. Okay? Just squeezing the gastroc. Does everyone see what her foot does?
Yeah.
No.
It plantar flexes a little bit.
Oh.
Okay? If you don't see that plantar flexion, you're worried about an Achilles rupture. Okay? So when I squeeze, her foot goes into some plantar flexion.
So would that be a positive test for a Thomas test? It means that there's no. Yes.
This is a negative test. This is a negative test. If she gets that plantar flexion, that's a negative test. If there's no plantar flexion when I squeeze, that's a positive test. And you're suspecting an Achilles tendon rupture. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next one we're going to do is the bump test. Alright, bump test is when you suspect a fracture of some sort, okay? And all I'm doing is I'm taking the palm of my hand